Good morning, dear students. In the last class, we have learned about system, control system, types of control system, and advantages and disadvantages and application of open loop and closed loop system. In today's class, we are going to learn about control system mathematical models. First, we can see what is meant by modeling. The process of obtaining the mathematical descriptive of a system is known as modeling. These models are useful for analysis and design of control system. The control system can be represented with a set of mathematical equations known as mathematical model. So these models are useful for analysis and design of control system. So analysis of control system means finding the output when we know the input and mathematical model. The commonly used mathematical model are differential equation model, transfer function model, state space model. So in this class, we will discuss about differential equation model and transfer function model. This last one, we have the state space model. This state space analysis we are having as a different unit in control system subject. So there we will discuss in detail. Here in differential equation model, we are going to describe a control system in a differential equation. In transfer function model, we are going to design our own control system or a given system in terms of S domain or a Laplace transform. So here the differential equation is a time domain mathematical model of control system. The differential equation for a given system are obtained by applying appropriate laws. For example, we can use Newton's law for mechanical system and Kirchhoff's law for electrical system. So these equations may be either linear or non-linear based on the system being modeled. Therefore, deriving appropriate mathematical models is the most important part of the analysis of a system. To solve the differential equation model, the first step is to apply basic laws to the given control system. The next step is to get a differential equation in terms of input and output by eliminating the intermediate variables. Next, we can see the types of control system. Here we have four different types of different types of control system. One is linear system, another one is non-linear system, and third one is time variant system, and fourth one is time invariant system. Coming to the linear system, if the control system is a linear system, whenever the control system obeys the homogeneity and linearity, then only we can say it is a linear system. If a system has responses C1 of t and C2 of t and two inputs R1 of t and R2 of t respectively, then the system combination of these input, here we will get an output as A1. This consider this linear system as A1 means we will get the output as A1 R1 of t, and if you are considering this linear system as A2, here we will get C2 of t is equal to A2 R2 of t, right? So the linear combination of this individual system will be the output will be A1 C1 of t, because here we will get from this A1 we will get a C1. This C1 is connected to this summing point. Here this C2 is connected to this summing point. So the individual output will be A1 C1 of t plus A2 C2 of t, where A1 and A2 are the constant. Next we can see about the linear time variant system. These all might be you have studied in the signals and system, right? So if a coefficient of differential equation are function of time, then the system is called as linear varying system. Once again, if the coefficient of a differential equation or a function of time. If a differential equation is a function of time, then the system is said to be linear time varying system. On the other hand, if the coefficient of the differential equation are not a function of time, then the system is called as linear time invariant system. For a transient response or a frequency response analysis of single input, single output, linear time invariant system, the transfer function representation will be convenient too. So for analyzing the linear time invariant system, the transfer function representation will be convenient tool. If the subject is multiple input and multiple output, then we can't use the transfer function tool. We have to go for state space analysis. That will be a convenient tool for us. Now we are going to see about transfer function of a control system. Not only for a control system, for any system, the transfer function is the ratio of Laplace transform of output to the Laplace transform of input. That is the ratio of transfer function of output to the transform of input. Similarly, for a control system also, transfer function of a control system is the ratio of Laplace transform of input to the output to the input. So generally, in control system topic, we are going to prefer Laplace transform. The equivalent of transfer function is equal to Laplace transform of output divided by Laplace transform of input with zero initial condition. Here, nonlinear system and time varying system do not have transfer function because they do not obey the principles of superposition and homogeneity. So, with the concept of transfer function, it is possible to represent a dynamic to algebraic equation in S domain. So, again, the highest power of S in the denominator represent a transfer function is the order of the system. The highest power of S in the denominator of a transfer function is the order of the system. For example, let us consider a system with input R of t and a gain, open loop gain of G of t, and C of t is the output. So taking Laplace transform on both sides, Laplace transform of R of t is equal to R of S, and Laplace transform of G of S is equal to G of t is equal to capital G of S, and Laplace transform of C of t is equal to C of S. So here the time domain is converted to an S domain. Therefore, the transfer function of a system is given as G of S is equal to C of S divided by R of S, because this is the output. So we will get C of S is equal to R of S into G of S. We have to find out the value of G of S. Now by cross multiplying, we will get the value of G of S is equal to C of S divided by this term R of S. Let us see the advantages and disadvantages of transfer function. First one is, using transfer function, the mathematical models can be obtained and analyzed very easily. Second one, output response can be obtained for any kind of input. Again, the next one is, stability analysis can be performed. Fourth one, Laplace transform is used to convert the time domain to S domain. This is one advantages of transfer function. Again, we can see the disadvantages of transfer function. So the main disadvantage is it is not applicable to linear system or time varying system. So we can't find out the physical nature of the system, whether it is mathematical or electrical or thermal system. So this is the drawback of transfer function. Next, we can see about the transfer function of an open loop system. This figure shows this block diagram shows the open loop transfer function. So we have found out the value of G of S is equal to C of S divided by R of S as a transfer function. Here, this R of S is the Laplace transform of input variable, and C of S is the Laplace transform of output variable or a response, and G of S is nothing but a transfer function. Now, let us see the transfer function of a closed loop transfer function. Here, this closed loop system can be classified into two categories based on the type of feedback used. Here, the types are negative feedback system and a positive feedback system. Now, let us see the negative feedback system. The simplest form of negative feedback control system is shown in figure. It has one block in the forward path and other one is feedback path. Practically, all the control system can be reduced to this form. Here, G of S represent overall gain of the block in the forward path, and B of S, here we have the B of S. This B of S represent a feedback signal, and here we have E of S. This is an error signal, and this H of S is the overall gain of all blocks in the feedback path. So our object is to reduce this control system to a single block by determining the closed loop transfer function for the negative feedback. Now, to find out the transfer function, we have to solve or derive this block diagram. So from this block diagram, the feedback signal B of S is equal to, so first we have to find out the value of B of S. So this B of S is nothing but output into this value. This H of S is nothing but feedback path gain. So the multiplication or product of C of S into H of S is nothing but B of S. The next we have to find out the value of E of S. So this E of S, before E of S we have a summing point. So this E of S value will be equal to these two values, that is R of S, the input minus of this B of S value. So the value of E of S is equal to R of S minus of B of S. So this equation, this block diagram can be derived like this. So for the value of B of S is equal to, we get the value of C of S into, C of S into the value of B of S is equal to C of S into H of S. It is represented as equation number 1. Next we have E of S value. The E of S value is equal to R of S minus of B of S. It is represented here. E of S is equal to R of S minus of B of S. Now, already we find out the value of B of S is equal to C of S into H of S. Now, substituting this value in this equation, we get the value of E of S is equal to R of S, this value, minus of the value of B of S is equal to C of S into H of S. Take this as equation number 2. Now, the output signal C of S. C of S will be getting E of S by multiplying E of S into G of S. So the value of C of S is equal to E of S into G of S. Take this as equation number 3. Already we have found out the value of E of S. What is the value of E of S? E of S is equal to R of S minus of C of S into H of S. Now, substituting this value, that is equation 2 in equation 3, we get the value of C of S into 1 plus G of S, and because this value C of S is equal to, for E of S we are substituting R of S minus of C R of S. Here already we have G of S minus of C of S, this G of S, here we have H of S. So again, taking C, this term in the left hand side, we get C of S, this minus symbol turns to plus. So C of S, G of S, H of S is equal to R of S into G of S. Now these two terms, we have the common term is G of S. Take it outside. So we get C of S into 1 plus G of S into H of S is equal to R of S into H of S. So from this, the value we have to, the transfer function formula is, we have to find out the value of G of S, that is C of S divided by R of S. So by cross multiplying, C of S divided by R of S is equal to this term as it is, it will be here. So G of S divided by 1 plus G of S into H of S. So we get C of S divided by R of S is equal to G of S divided by 1 plus G of S into H of S. Hence, the transfer function of a negative feedback of a control system is given by T of S is equal to T of S represent transfer function is equal to C of S divided by R of S. It is equal to G of S divided by 1 plus G of S into H of S. So this block diagram can be reduced. This negative feedback block diagram can be reduced like this. Based on the expression, we can reduce the block diagram into a simplified form like this. R of S, this is the input. So here we have the transfer function, that is G of S divided by 1 plus G of S into H of S. Here we will get the C of S output. So a negative feedback can be reduced like this. Next, from this we can represent the formula P of S is equal to C of divided by R of S. We know C of S is nothing but forward path gain, because here we have G of S. G of S is a forward path gain. So here this term 1 plus forward G of S is forward path gain into H of S value is feedback path gain. Next, we can see about the positive feedback system. If the feedback is positive, then the closed loop transfer function can be simply derived as T of S is equal to C of S divided by R of S is equal to G of S divided by 1 minus of G of S into H of S. So how we are getting this negative value means, we know the value of B of S is equal to C of S into H of S. Again, here the value of E of S is equal to R of S minus of B of R of S plus B of S. Now to find out the value of, by substituting this formula, by seeing this equation here, for example, here we have plus symbol. So again we are taking this term to left hand side, because C of S term is here, also we are having C of S, here also we are having C of S. So we are taking this C of S common term to the left side. This negative symbol turns to positive. That's why in positive feedback, we will get a negative symbol here. So for a positive feedback system, the transfer function is G of S divided by 1 minus of G of S. So dear students, try to derive this positive feedback system and check you are getting the transfer function like this. Now let us see the process involved in modeling and system using mathematical equation. Here, in modeling, the mathematical equations are formed by the variables and constants of the systems. For example, if you are considering electrical network, the electrical network can be modeled using the equations formed by Kirchhoff's law. So here, this flow chart shows how to determine the transfer function at any system. So to determine the transfer function, we have to follow these steps. For step 1, first we have to identify the system variable. So first when we are seeing the system, first we have to identify the system variables. So after identify the system variables, we have to write the time domain equation using the system variable. So after finding the system variables, we have to write the time domain equation. After writing the time domain equation, we have to take the Laplace transform of the system equation with the initial condition as 0. So in step 4, we have to identify input and output. After considering in the step 3, we are taking the Laplace transform. So after that, we have to identify which one is the input variable and which one is the output variable, and then to eliminate the feedback path by using the closed loop transfer function formula. So after that, we have to take the ratio of Laplace transform of input output variable. And then we can find out the transfer function. So this is the process involved in the mathematical modeling. Now let us see how we can model an electrical system. An electrical system consists of, we all know the electrical system consists of resistors, capacitors and inductors. So how we can form a differential equation for electrical system means by applying Kirchhoff's law. So by applying Kirchhoff's law, we can easily find a differential equation. So after that, we have to take Laplace transform to find the solution or a transfer function of the electrical system. The first, already we have seen the flow chart. The first step is we have to find out the system variables, right? So after that, we have to write the mathematical equation. So to write the mathematical equation for electrical system, we have to apply the Kirchhoff's law. After that, we have to take the Laplace transform to find the solution or transfer function of the electrical system. Okay. So now let us recall the relation between voltage, current for different elements in the electrical circuit. Already you have learned this relation in the circuits itself. So again, now we can recall this relationship. So for resistor, if you are representing in terms of voltage, we know by Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R. So if you are representing this resistor in terms of voltage, we get V of t is equal to R into I of t. So this V of t represents the voltage, R represents the resistance, and I of t is the flow of current. So if we are representing this resistor in terms of current value, so we by cross multiplying this value, we will get I of t is equal to V of t divided by this R, right? So this is the formula. These two are the formulas to find out the voltage and current in terms of resistor. If you are finding this voltage and current relation in terms of inductor, means the formula is V of t is equal to L into di of t divided by dt. So in terms of, if you are representing in terms of current, means the formula is I of t is equal to 1 by L into integral of V of t dt. Next, we can find for capacitance. So for capacitance, in terms, if you are representing the capacitance in terms of voltage, the formula for V of t is equal to 1 by C into integral of I of t dt. So if you are representing capacitance in terms of current, means I of t is equal to C into dV of t divided by dt. So if, for the remembrance, just these two will be in opposite nature, right? So for today's class, we have learned control system mathematical modeling using differential equation and open loop, closed loop transfer function. And again, advantages and disadvantages of transfer function and the concept of transfer function using negative feedback, positive feedback, and how to find out the transfer function using that, and the relation between voltage and current for electrical circuits, like that. So dear students, hope you all understand the concept. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Thank you, students.